come from a very dysfunctional family, you know. Mother and father were addicts, you know. Always seen it. Kind of really wasn't ever wrong, you know, in my eyes to use. You know, growing up as a kid, it was just a thing to do, you know. And I knew that, you know, other kids my age and stuff, it wasn't normal for them. I knew I was a little different, you know, but I quit school, started working and, you know, kind of to help my mother, you know, with food and, you know, help pay utilities and stuff like that so we could make it and come from very poor. We were very poor. Didn't feel like it. And I look back at it, you know, I was like, wow, how did I make it, you know? But there was always a lot of using going on around my house and a lot of conflict and a lot of older people, adults and stuff. My house was kind of the place to use, you know. I think at one point in time I counted it was about 15 treatment centers over the years. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, my first bout, I went before I went away to prison when I was younger. You know, I went to treatment for probably anywhere from 8 to 10, 12 times, I don't know. And then, you know, after I got out and was doing well and stayed clean, you know, I ended up going to treatment another, you know, 6, 7 times. I don't know exactly how many, but it was quite a few. As I continue to use and in and out of treatment, and finally kind of got it, you know, and got back into NA and stayed clean, you know, and just was done. I stayed clean for 6 years, you know, 6 years. And throughout that time, we had bought a house and started a little construction company. Cut a hole through that wall, put that door in there. We had a crane drop 2 steel beams in the grass over here. And we carried them in. This is one, and this is one there too. One day, had an accident. I fell off of a roof, fell about 3 stories, and got hurt pretty bad. Broke both my arms. Had some bone grafts taken out of my hips and to rebuild this arm, and as you can see, it's got a lot of scars and screws and plates in it, and this one's got 4 screws in it, and that's when I got introduced to opiates. You know, never really even had a second thought about ever being addicted to opiates. Didn't know nothing really about them. Didn't ever have a desire for it because, you know, I was when I did use it was all about speed and staying awake and, you know, that kind of stuff. And throughout the 2 years, I was just really hooked on opiates bad, and got to the point to where everything was done, and they were like, okay, we're cutting you off, you know, no more. You know, we're going to put you on some of these non-narcotic pain pills, and yeah, I knew that wasn't going to work for me, you know. So I went to the streets, you know, and continued to buy what I was getting from the doctors, and started doing some heroin also, you know. But mainly, it was pharmaceutical opiates. So got addicted to them bad, man, and things got bad again, you know, and I left my wife and kids and went back to the streets, went back to chasing street drugs, and lost everything, you know, lost my business and ended up resorting to crime, street crime, you know. Had racked up well over, you know, 15, 16 felony charges against me, and ended up going away to prison, man. Went away for 5 years. You know, went away for 5 years. So, obviously, you know, I had to get clean then. You know, and I didn't use in prison. Didn't use it all. It was the last place I wanted to be using or trying to chase dope was in prison. So, you know, never thought I would ever end up there, you know. You know, I did it. You know, I did 5 years and got out. Met my wife I have now, and stay clean for a couple more years even out of prison, you know. And I pretty much just thought I was done, you know, and didn't go to NA, didn't do anything, you know. I just thought I was done using, you know. It didn't work out that way, you know. I ended up, something happened to my back, you know, and in construction, and had some back problems, and went to the doctor and thinking, you know, it's, you know, prescription's not going to be no big deal. It's not going to be no big deal, you know. And that's all it took. That's all it took, you know. Was getting a few pain pills, and then that started the animal all over again. You know, all over again, man. But it's the only thing that ever made me feel good, you know, where I could function. I could never function without opiates. You know, I couldn't think, couldn't work, you know, couldn't sleep. Just wasn't happy, just depressed. You know, just depressed if I wasn't doing opiates. And, you know, I just got tired of having to chase it like that and stuff, you know. So I just said, hell, I'm going to go try this methadone program. And I did. You know, I got on it. No one knew I was on it. My family didn't know it. My wife, daughter, kids, people I worked with, still going to NA. Nobody knew I was on it. I hid it for a long time, you know, for about 1.5 years. And, but I was doing a lot of methadone, and I wasn't doing it right. I wasn't doing it right at all. You know, I was buying it from the people at the clinic, you know, and they had my dose up as high as I could get it, you know, from them legally. And then I had people that I knew that just would go there, and I would buy their doses for the whole week, you know. And pretty soon, you know, I'm up to taking anywhere from 400 to 600 milligrams of methadone, you know, every day. Every day. That's a lot. And I don't know how I'm still alive, you know. I'm lucky to be alive. Got pretty bad on that stuff, man. I mean, sick, man. Trying to get, I try and get off of it and stuff, but it got to the point where I couldn't hide it anymore. I just couldn't hide it no more. When I was going to the methadone clinic, I was talking to my counselor at the time and about getting on Suboxone. And we was talking about he was going to do it. He went ahead and wrote me a prescription for it. And he said, when you're ready, go ahead and get it filled, and we'll get you started on it. I never did. You know, I filled it, but I never thought nothing of it. I filled it, put it in the console of my truck. It was in my truck. Forgot all about it. Forgot I even had it in there. You know, so I'm in this detox center, and I'm in here sick. I mean, just sick, man. Thought I was dying, man. And I kicked it for 8 days without anything. And I got out of the detox center, and I was like, oh, wow, man, you know, I've got this Suboxone stuff. I wonder what that shit really works, you know. I didn't know. I got this stuff in my console. Maybe I'll try it, you know. And so I did, you know. It was the film, the strips you put under your tongue. And I took one and put it under my tongue. And it was like, you know, I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to get high, you know. Didn't get high, you know. But it didn't take long to where I wasn't really achy, and, you know, head wasn't pounding, my skin wasn't crawling, and just chills. And I really didn't think it was going to work. I didn't think it was going to work. I just said, I'll just do it. What the hell? Keep from being sick. So I would take a couple strips, you know, a day until they were gone almost. And I called the doctor and that I had gotten them from, and said that I had started it, and I need to get it refilled. And I did, you know, got it refilled, and seeing the counselor every month, you know, going to group that they had there at the Suboxone clinic and methadone clinic was combined. But it was so wonderful to be able to go there and only have to go once a month instead of every day, you know, and just get a prescription. And not having to go to a window at a methadone clinic and get a dose every day, you know, it was just a big relief. And got right back into Narcotics Anonymous, man, and just started going to my meetings and taking Suboxone like it's like it was prescribed to me, taking it right, you know. Once I found out you couldn't get high on it, you know, and it's like, well, this is what it's going to be like, you know. But when I found out after a while, it was just like, man, I could think clearer. I had energy. I had motivation. Started being responsible, and you know, and it's been a long time since I felt like that. Long time, you know. Even being clean, completely clean, you know, for them years I was in Narcotics Anonymous without anything. You know, them were some good years, but honestly, I have to say, I don't know what it is about Suboxone, but, you know, along with I take Wellbutrin also, it's antidepressant, and with them two together, now for the last couple years, it's just a part of my life, and it's not that big a deal. You know, I just take my medication once a day. I sleep fine. You know, I go to work every day. My energy level's great. Like I said, my life is great today. It really is. I never would have dreamed that I would be here.
I need to give him an apple.
I'm really shocked it's already been 2 years, you know. Because it still kind of seems like it was just yesterday, you know, and here it is 2 years later, and everything's falling right into place, you know. I don't know, it's just amazing. My business is going well, you know. I've managed to keep my employees and stay busy working, you know. It's been slow because of the economy, but, you know, I've been staying above water, and been able to do the things I want to do, you know. My relationship with my family and my wife is probably better than it has ever been.
And I would have to say, I think Suboxone is a miracle, because all of those times that he would have periods of clean time in between relapsing, he would go to NA meetings. And I think that it's important. Al-Anon has helped to save my life. I'm way more healthy, happy, you know, all those things because of Al-Anon. So I think 12-step programs are awesome. But he would, like, cling to NA with just so much, it felt to me like desperation. And he would be gone during his clean times at NA functions and NA meetings and you know, all that kind of stuff, almost as much as, you know, when he was off using. He would come back and sleep, but he was gone a lot doing that then as well, you know. And not that that's not important, it is, but I don't know, he just felt desperate to me. Like, it was just never a point in time that he could relax and figure out life without drugs. It's like the drugs were constantly nipping at his heels every step of the way, until he got on Suboxone, and then all of a sudden it's just like he relaxed. He lost a lot of fear, I think. And I don't know, you know, maybe there's some placebo effect to it, you know. If I can rely on this thing, I don't have to rely on myself. Maybe it's part of the drug, maybe, I don't know, but I know that helped him tremendously. And I would have to say that in the last 2 years, since you've been on Suboxone, it's been the most relaxed that we've ever been. And I think when you lost that fear, that helped me with, you know, whatever lingering anxieties I had too.